गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्मा तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरये परमात्मने प्रणतक्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। So taking the blessings of Krishna and Ganesha and our Guru, we'll start the session. As I told you before, in this session, I would like to offer my pranams to my mother who initiated me into this, Swami Chinmayananda, Chinmayanandji, Chinmaya Mission and Chinmayanandji, who had initiated me in 1974, introduced me to Bhagavad Gita, and Swami Nirbananji Saraswati from Ramakrishna Vivekananda Ashram, and all the experiences that we have had in life, which have directed us to find solutions through Bhagavad Gita, isn't it? We are all getting very useful, rational, unbiased solutions through Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so now we are in this chapter, Yoga of Meditation, Dhyana Yoga. This is chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita. As we have seen, Bhagavad Gita has progressed from a very depressed state of Arjuna. Arjuna was in a state of depression when he started the Kurukshetra. Actually, it was a decision taken along with Krishna, well planned, well thought of, and as a last resort. It was taken as a last resort. So Krishna has visited for negotiations with the Kauravas, and it did not work. So he gave a green signal for this Kurukshetra. But Arjuna, having agreed, when he actually comes to face it, just like most of us, all of us have, when you actually face the crisis, then you feel totally lost. You don't know where to go because this is a big crisis which he is facing. And Krishna therefore brings Gita on the field of Kurukshetra, and this has been documented by sage Vedavyas. So when he talks to Arjuna, he takes him step by step because Arjuna is a novice for all this spiritual knowledge, just like us. So he takes him and first he motivates him, as you have seen. Klaibyam masma gamah partha naitatvai upapadyate kshutram hridaya daurpalyam tyakta uttishta parantapa. Says, give up the weakness and it doesn't suit you. Anarya, it is not your thing. You are not meant to be like this. So beautifully he, motivates him, brings him, and then step by step he goes. He has told how to do your karma. Now you have to act because you are a kshatriya. That's your swadharma. Your bound duty you should do. Niyatam kuru karmatvam. And also do the karma with detachment. That means just take doing your work as your duty. Leave the rest to me. I will take care. He keeps on motivating. He keeps on talking about samatvam, yoga, karma sukaushalam. He introduces him to the concept of yoga, and he makes karma as one of the highest duty. I mean, highest goal of human life. What is our goal? To be in a state of yoga. So now he has come to another very deep state. He is going deeper and deeper with every chapter. So in this chapter, he has come to yoga of meditation, dhyana yoga. Why dhyana is important? In our previous chapter, we have seen that when Arjuna asks him, Can I become a sannyasi? Allow me to become a sannyasi. He says becoming sannyasi is giving up all the actions. That is not right because the world has to run. I have created with that a purpose. But I want you to work, but work with detachment. Give up the attachment to, don't claim any of the fruits of action. That means don't have any claim on the results. Don't claim that you did that, and you achieved, you have this qualification, you are a Kshatriya, I fought. You should not have that. As long as you give up that, then your action becomes very simple. There is no stress whatsoever, and you'll be able to do. As you grow in your Karma Yoga, as you reach higher states, then you can practice the sannyasa, giving up action, which where dhyana is a major thing. In that stage of spiritual path, dhyana is the major thing. He says, Arurukshor Munehe Yogam Karma Karanam Uchate. Yogaruda means the one who is advanced, for him, uh, tranquility of the mind. Karma, that means he says, your mind should be very, very tranquil. For that, you should do dhyana. So he has started how to do dhyana. What are the prerequisites for meditation? That comes in this chapter. We have finished up to 19. And see, it's not just sitting, closing your eyes, and how he has told in the previous shlokas that you have to sit erect. You should sit on a place which is neither high nor low. Use a grass mat, use a deer skin, and do pranayama, control your breath, and then concentrate, have dharana. Apart from that, how to control, see, when you sit for meditation, so many thoughts keep coming. More the attachment, more the disturbances. Dhyana doesn't mean that we should reach that dhyana only when we grow in spiritual. No, along with our karma yoga, 10 minutes of dhyana, 15 minutes of dhyana, how much ever you can do, that is advisable so that your mind comes under control. So we are talking about meditation not only for sannyasis, but for people like you and I who can, keep our mind very, very calm, stress free. It doesn't mean we are running away from our work, but that helps us to involve in this samsara, do our work peacefully, and give up the fruits of action. Say he is the doer and be free, totally free. So dhyana is integral part for integral action process for people at any stage in spiritual path. It's going to do a lot of benefits. We're saying that he tells us this dhyana is extremely important for another reason. In that, it will help us to unite us with the super soul which is within. So when we get connected with that, all higher qualities start coming. We can express more of divinity, and therefore handling the challenges in life becomes very, very simple. Apart from spiritual advancement, the first byproduct of this path is we'll be able to manage or deal with our day-to-day challenges in a most peaceful manner. And we will not become agitated, will not become overreactive. We will, because we are connected to the higher energy. Because of regular meditation, we will be we will handle them in a more matured way, number one, and we will reach a higher state of emotion. We will have a higher emotional quotient. Higher emotional quotient. So having said that, now we are going ahead with the chapter 6, shloka 20. So the last shloka, 19th shloka, what we discussed was uh, yogi. Yogi means he can be karma yogi or dhyana yogi, but one who's engaged totally in meditation and a higher person, he he will have his mind yatha deepo nivatastho nengate sopamamrita yogino yata chittasya yunjato yogam atmanah. So just like a lamp, in a spot which is sheltered from the wind, it does not flicker. It is very, it doesn't get flickered. It is very uniformly, it is glowing, the lamp. So such is the mind of a yogi who practices concentration in the self. Meditation means concentration in the self and keeping it for sustained for long duration. So now we start with 20, 21, 22, 23. And these four together we will see the meaning because they are all interconnected. यत्रोपरमते चित्तं निरुद्धं योगसेवया यत्र चैवात्मनात्मानं पश्यन् आत्मनि तुष्यति सुखम् अत्यन्तिकं यत्तत् बुद्धिग्राह्यम् अतीन्द्रियम् वेत्ति यत्र न चैवायं स्थितश्चलति तत्त्वतः यं लब्ध्वा चापरं लाभं मन्यते नाधिकं ततः यस्मिन् स्थितो न दुःखेन पुरुणापि विचाल्यते तं विद्या दुःखसंयोग वियोगं योगसंज्ञितं स निश्चयेन योक्तव्यो योगो निर्विण्ण चेतसा. Give me 2 minutes. Sorry. All right. So these are the first 4 shlokas. Yatro paramate chittam niruddham yoga sevaya yatra chaivatmanatmanam pashyan atmani tushyati. Where now let us consider that if we are all let us say preparing for an exam, okay, maybe imagine you are appearing for a competitive exam or you are doing a PhD. We are all in senior positions now. If you are doing any of these, no, then what do? We try to cut down all our distractions, isn't it? If somebody calls us for a get together, or there is some function and you have an exam, that is your goal. So we try to avoid all that because our goal is to concentrate and get through this. So similarly, a yogi, for him the goal is to reach that liberation, free from suffering. Today, very beautifully in these shlokas, he has told about dukkha, sorrow. That is a major thing. What is that liberation? What is that goal we are looking at? Moksha is nothing but reaching a constant state of bliss, constant state which will not come down. That is the ultimate goal from where there is no return to this suffering. You may be in this body, but you will not suffer. So now, how are we going to do that? Through meditation. This is where the mind is absolutely restrained by the practice of yoga. Uparamate means drawn inwardly, rejoicing inwardly. And when the self is satisfied, seeing the higher self. Yatra jaiva atmanatmanam. See, when you close your eyes and you are in a state of meditation or your, let's say, concentration, you are not concerned about external. Yogi always gets delighted when he is not connected externally, but he is connected internally. That is the meaning. Where the mind is absolutely restrained. Somebody is calling, no, I'm not interested. Don't call me, I will not come. And by continuous practice, his mind is always drawn inward and he restrains himself from the external distractions. And where that solitude, when he sits, closes his eyes, he experiences something within, and that is a higher self. Jivatman is within, higher self, or some high energy is there. And this mind, when it closes and it is trying to feel that energy, and he starts rejoicing that is first shloka. He gets a delight, okay? And also he says, when one feels an infinite bliss, infinite, oh my God, what is this ecstasy I'm feeling? What is this ecstasy? I never ever have experienced when I interacted with the outer world, when one feels that infinite bliss. Sukham atyantikam yat tat buddhigrahyam atindriyam. Vetti yatra na chaivayam stitas chalati tattvataha. When one feels that infinite bliss perceived by the intellect transcending the senses. Andre, when the buddhi, our mind, uh, there is a challenge, but I have control. And I feel so happy that I have control. That is the meaning. One feels, and that is not only giving me happiness, it's giving me an infinite bliss. And one is established in that state. I do not want to move from the state of mind, from this place. I'm sitting here meditating, or I'm in that state of mind wherever I am, and I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to interact with people. I don't want to come down. I'm enjoying that infinite bliss. So, this is the state. And yam latva chaparam labham manyate nadikam tatah yasmin sthito na dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate. And also, in continuation, Krishna says, possessing which means that state, one regards no other acquisition, no other possession, no other worldly happiness, enjoying with friends or going out or anything, or owning a property, any of these acquisition, I cannot consider that as superior to what I'm experiencing now. Possessing which one regards that no other acquisition is superior to that, established in that stage, and and the one when one is not moved by uh, dukkhena, even by dukkhena gurunapi, means the heavy sorrow, deep, there may be some issue, burning issue in the family, still I'm not perturbed. So these are all the ways Krishna describes. So when a yogi gets all this, that means he controls. In the first loka 20th, he says he restrains himself and he enjoys being within himself, right? And second one, he says he will not be distracted, and he feels that when I am there connected, this is giving me so much of a kick, I should say, a bliss, and I do not want to disturb at any kind of emergencies at home. You may think that is the biggest blow an ordinary person has, but this fellow will not be perturbed. So when you reach that stage, Krishna says in the then tam vidya dukkha sanyoga viyogam yoga saudnitam. You understand that this knowledge, which is a state that severs the union of mind, this is how they have used the word, that means which will take away your sorrow. Sa nishchayena yoktavyo yogo nirvinna chetasa. So now he is describing yoga in a different way. Yoga has been defined in different ways in the entire Bhagavad Gita in relation to that aspect which he's dealing with. In Karma Yoga, he says Yoga Karma Kaushalam. Here he is talking about the controlled mind. That is said to be yoga. He says when a person who feels delighted to be in solitude, to unite with his own inner self, super self, and no unhappiness can perturb him, nothing. And he says that it is constant. He doesn't want to give up. He doesn't want to give up at all. And he says whether people are enjoying, having the greatest, he has not brought the description of sukha here. He has introduced the concept of deep sorrow. Even though there are situations which are making, which an ordinary person can get deeply affected. He can become grief stricken. We say no, grief stricken, because he becomes so morose normally. How do I come out of this? This is the ordinary thing. How do I get over this? What a big thing. Then people start counseling, people start talking to them different. For example, when there is death in the family, it's a very common thing. When we lose someone who's close to us, we go through a lot of grief, and sometimes it goes for days together. Especially if death happens, untimely deaths happen, person can never come out. Sometimes people can leave the house and go. So many things keep happening. But if a person is established in yoga, even though he is a grihastha, he will not become perturbed. In the sense, he will carry out with his routine activities, but he prefers solitude and he will not get disturbed. He craves for that state wherein he is united with the inner self. If you remember, Swami Vivekananda's statement was floating in the WhatsApp. Every day, if you do not look into the mirror, you are missing meeting uh, a great man in a great man or woman of your life. That means you are so great. That statement says you are so great. That means there is something within. Even in the previous shlokas we have seen, no? Uddharet atmanatmanam atmanam avasadhayet. Atmaiva atmano bandhuhu atmaiva rituhu atmanaha. We are our own friends, we are our own enemies. All this should make us understand these four shlokas. He says, if once the person gets to go to that stage, he elevates himself to that stage, then he will not feel anything is important, because I have already reached a state of bliss, which nothing can be compared with that state of happiness. Nothing in this world can be compared to that state of happiness. That is that high, supreme. It says, that word we has used, Paramasukham, or he says, comes in the next one. So, and this yoga, Dukkha Sayoga Vyogam, very, very beautiful. This yoga, this state, this knowledge, Tam Vidya, Dukkha Samyoga Vyogam. He has used two opposites, Dukkha Sanyoga. That means mind gets united, or union of mind. Sanyoga, union of mind with sorrow. So that Vyogam, yoga will take away that union. That means the mind which is in the state of sorrow, that is severed by yoga. In other words, the practice of this yoga, in by controlling our sense organs, by controlling our distractions, by controlling our what I should say, longing to enjoy, that is a source of misery. So when we control that, and also fix our mind in meditation, in dhyana, which we have described in the previous shlokas, and repeatedly when we do, we or anybody becomes fixed in that state. That state is ultimate happiness, and a person is said to be in that stage of yoga or a yukta, when he feels, I'm set. Now nothing can disturb me. Dukkha ita, it's okay. Somebody died, it's okay. He may cry for a while, but he will come back. Externally also he may pretend. Actually, it doesn't disturb him, because he has understood that his connection is with the self. How easy or how difficult it is to practice this? Yes, it is difficult, because we are all conditioned. We are all tuned to live in this world, and this concept is easy to talk, easy to listen, very difficult to practice. But once we start practicing, and once we start telling it to ourselves that we are here to do our duty, and we should not be perturbed by anything that's happening around us. Our duty, our goal is to get united with this immense happiness which is within us. That is called Sat Chit Ananda. Krishna keeps on telling repeatedly, I am there in your body. I am there. You meditate. You reach out to me. You meditate. More and more you meditate, uh, mind starts clinging to that, and it dissociates. So whenever it clings to something which is higher, automatically we move away from the things which don't matter to us. So this is how Krishna has created the whole system. So he describes this. These are the things a yogi will come with ya dukkha sanyoga viyogam. So keywords here are yogas dukkha sanyoga viyogam and nishchayena yoktavyo yogo nirvinna chetasa. That means uh, this yoga must be practiced with perseverance, undisturbed by the depression of the mind. Depression means whenever yogo niyoktavyo yogo nirvinna chetasa. You must practice, and it will lead to, and also you must practice with great perseverance, undisturbed by the depression of the mind. That means repeatedly we should keep bringing it to that state again and again. Next he says, Sankalpa Prabhavan Kaman Tyaktva Sarvana Sheshataha Manasaivedriya Gramam Viniyamya Samantataha. So he says, Sankalpa Prabhavan Kaman. So Sankalpa and Kama, we have discussed this now. Abandoning all the desires born of Sankalpa. Desires is desire, I like this, I like that. These are little deeper wants. No desires for need, as long as it is for the need, is acceptable. But when it starts multiplying as a want, I want this, I want that, I never ever satisfied. That is, all these desires are born out of that sankalpa actually. So he says, abandoning without reserve, when asheshataha means all the wants, I just don't want anything, born out of sankalpa, completely restraining with the mind alone. Manaseva indriya gramam. Manasu, mind. Okay, mind alone. You must train your mind to abandon all the desires, and it will come automatically, because when you start developing a delight or you rejoice at solitude, you want to be there at home, you want to sit alone, you want to do meditation, you want to listen to Bhagavad Puran, you want to listen to Bhagavad Gita, anything that unites you with the higher self. So at that time, this mind is saying that, then it will restrain, it will not allow you to go here and there. So abandoning without reserve all the desires born of Sankalpa, completely restraining with the help of mind alone the whole group of senses from their objects in all directions. That means it is describing the mind is likely to be diverted in all directions by the sense organs, isn't it? So how can we be diverted? We have five sense organs, right? We see, we hear, we talk, and we smell, and we feel. Each of them, let's go, let's have physical contact with somebody, let's go and see this beautiful movie, let's hear something good, good or bad, anything, it need not be always bad. Always it wants to satisfy those senses. This is a property of an ordinary mind. This is how Prakriti is created, this is how Maya is there, Krishna has brought it out. So always they are engaged, always they are engaged in one or the other. Either we are eating something, enjoying the taste, okay, not talking, it is a taste, sorry, tongue, taste, we want to taste, we want to have. That's why I think Bangalore has got so many eateries, and you see on the YouTube, people keep describing about so many hotels, and we also enjoy. And not only that, there are home deliveries. My God, the food has become so much, a big industry also. And also so much, I think major distraction today is the food. You agree with me? What do you think?
Yes, ma'am. Too much
Yeah.
of importance. Yes, ma'am. It's become too much, especially among youngsters.
Among
Like,
youngsters, yes. And
especially
you,
college, most of the time they'll be either in the canteen or with Swiggy or collecting the parcel. It's like too much, ma'am.
too much it is. 24 hours, one or the other thing. And you name it, beverages, one big list is there. Snacks, big list is there. And South Indian, big list. Continental, big list. So as though there is no dearth, and people are earning now, parents are earning. We also encourage, I mean, we don't discourage, at least we don't encourage. But compared to what was there. So like that, there are so many, you imagine, we are talking about distraction, but all these things around are pulling to food or Netflix. Yes, and what, so many OTT channels are there. You don't have to go to the cinema theater also. Sit at home, stretch your legs, keep uh, eating popcorn or keep munching something all the time. Order on Swiggy, watch the Netflix or watch on YouTube. So like that, you have those distractions. So where is the will, or where is the motivation to go within? So this really requires a challenge. I really pity the younger generation, because when we were there, such distractions were very less. So probably it is our conditioning has been slightly different. Now, if we tell people to avoid all this, go within, restrain your senses, it's very difficult unless they really appreciate the benefits of that, or if they start experiencing some kind of disappointment which makes them go within, then these things will, can be accepted by them. So And some each one keeps going in one direction. Each sense organ says, let me see this, let me hear this, let me go for that eatery, let me go for the movie. So your mind gets, trapped in multiple directions, and therefore you will start feeling that stress. It need not be these actually. Anything, Shubha, you want to say something? No, okay. So it need not be only these. It also means that we want to will be longing for pleasant atmospheres. We may be in a situation where we may not like to go, but we want to go somewhere. So that longing, we may not be able to go. In the mind, it will start creating those disturbances. These are all the distractions which we are talking about. But a person who is a yogi advanced, he says none of these are important, good and bad, none of these. I just have to be within myself. And any kind of desire he will give. Sankalpa prabhavan kaman tyaktva sarvan asheshatah. Good and bad. Then yaudu desire bada. Only one desire, to meditate, to be with him. To be with him means, or with him in Bhakti Yoga, we say to be with God, or we say to be with my inner Atman. I just want, because, and you practice that. Close your eyes, put earphones, and earphones means not listening. Just close your, all the noise, shut yourself, close your eyes, do deep breathing, and meditate for just 5 minutes and just see how refreshing it will be. So, this person, for that, the supporting system is give up all the distractions. With the mind, manaseva indriya gramam, viniyamya samantataha, from all directions. So, mind is a powerful control. If you remember, we have discussed this body, mind, as a chariot, whichever is seen in Bhagavad Gita, no? A chariot with 5 horses, with the reins, and there's a charioteer. Only charioteer, you imagine. So these sense organs are what we want to eat, drink, go here, there, have happy time with people. All those are 5 horses. They are dragging us in different directions. But the mind is the rein, those lagam. So that we should be able to pull. And what is actually strongly pulling this is the buddhi. The charioteer is the buddhi. The buddhi will take it, control it. Buddhi will control. And if this buddhi is surrendered to God, then we are able to control them. So otherwise, each horse has a tendency to go in one direction. Where should the chariot go? Likewise, each thing, each distraction keeps pulling us here and there. We must control it. So that is the importance of mind, manasendriya. Manas is also considered to be 11th sense organ. But indriya, again I will repeat, there are 10 indriyas, 5 jnanendriya, 5 karmendriya, 5 are organs, sense organs, and 5 are organs of action. It is like, reflex action. When you see something, you want to go there. So seeing, the eyes become as a sense organ, that is jnanendriya. And when you walk, that becomes legs become the karmendriya. Jnanendriya, as I said, eyes, nose, tongue, and eyes, nose, tongue, ears, and the skin. And karmendriya, organs of action, which will satisfy whatever these inputs have come through these eyes, ears, and all. That is legs, hands, tongue, speech. We respond, either we go there, or we act, or we speak, or the genital organs and the anus. So these are all the karmendriyas, right? So because those are responding to the internal systems, or based on the internal organs. So this is how, so abandoning without reserve all the desires, completely restraining the mind to all, whole group of senses in all the directions. And very nicely it says, shanaihi shanaihi uparamet buddhya dhruti grahitaya atma samstham manah kritva na kinchitapi chintayet. So having given up all the desires, then what he will do? Slowly, slowly, shanaihi, withdrawing, uparimet means withdrawing within, and the intellect holding the willpower, buddhya, withdrawing with intellect holding the dhruti. Dhruti is, broadly we'll say willpower. I will explain what is dhruti. Today we have little more description of that. Slowly, withdrawing, with withdrawing the mind, with intellect, holding the willpower or dhruti, making the mind fixed in Atman. One should not think of anything else. No kinchit api chintayet. He should not think of anything other than this. What he should do, he should only bother going within. This is a very high concept. It's a very, very high concept. So, of course, I do understand that how is it possible? We are all working. So, he has given one hope. Shanaihi, shanaihi. Slowly. So, slowly means step by step. You cannot achieve the highest state, give up all the desires. All that is not possible overnight. What do we do? For this, to achieve this, no, you should do small steps daily. For example, you are telling the mind has to go within. That means your mind should listen to you. Leave alone going within. You cannot control your mind when you want to eat hot jalebis. They are in front of you. You are a diabetic. Somebody comes and offers, and you just don't want to eat, but it is so tempting that you end up eating two or three. It comes with full force. So our effort should start from here. Leave alone meditation to reach that stage. How do we practice ourselves? These are my thoughts. So you have to train. All of you have joined. What is his name? Yoga habit yoga. No, what is it? Habit. Have you joined? Anybody? Anybody here has joined? Vikram Botra. No, what's his name? Are you all here? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So have you joined that Habit yoga?
Yes,
No, no?
ma'am.
Shubha, you have joined, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you see what is his name, Shubha?
Saurabh Botra.
Saurabh Botra. So how the group keeps reminding, no, Dr. Pratibha, today you have to join. Dr. Pratibha, today. Why? Because our mind today it does, today, tomorrow it doesn't do. It doesn't do next day because it comes back. No, what is there? It's okay. What yoga? Yoga, shoga, sab bakwas. Somebody used to tell. So like that, mind will start, cheating you. It will say it's okay. Today you rest. So until you make a habit, and that is what is exactly what we are talking about in yoga. Yoga means control that laziness. That is tamas. Actually, lower activity is not doing any activity with perseverance. That is lower activity. On the contrary, if you are able to give up that laziness, willpower, no, today I have done, tomorrow also at this time I will do. I have to sit. That means you are controlling. This is a very beautiful first step in our spiritual path. When we are able to tell our mind and we are going against our tendencies. Never we did yoga in our life. Now Botra is sending the message and it is good for my health. I should start doing Anta when we decide and we sit consistently. And if you are doing it 21 days, he says it becomes a habit. Likewise, supposing walking or diet or maybe adherence to our schedules. We have said like every day I will get up at 6 a.m. If you make that as a habit, tomorrow your hands will press that alarm, say it's okay, sleep. But you'll say, no, I have committed to myself. This kind of thing is exactly the one what Krishna is talking in this chapter. Manas, when you are controlling sense organ means exactly this, bringing a discipline in your life. It is as simple as that. Before we go into the highest state of spirituality, let us see how beautifully we can regulate our life, our diet, we know we have to improve the intake of this one. We have to do walking, we have to do breathing exercises, we have to do regular, not too many. We put a schedule. This is what suits me. Now let us implement how much of this I am able to implement every day. If I am able to do at least 50% consistently for throughout 21 days, then 42 days, then it goes. Like that, if you are able to do, then definitely you are very much putting your great efforts in this path. This is the exact definition of yoga. Exact definition. These are the initial steps. These are nursery class of yoga. So after that, when you start controlling, that means your mind is listening to you. Yes or no? You're controlling your mind says don't do, but you will say no. Both are mind only. No, one is a lower mind. The one which is telling we should do is your buddhi. So now we come to what is dhriti. Very beautifully, I did a reference from another blog by Chinmaya Mission. So buddhi dhriti grahitaya. It says buddhi. So slowly, a yogi goes inside. Inside means controlling his mind with his buddhi and which is dhriti. What is dhriti? Dhriti means fortitude, consistency of purpose and actions. So these are the three things. Dhriti paints the idea. I'm just reading very beautifully. It appealed to me, so I'm just explaining that. Dhruti means it is one faculty of the mind. Mind has got different faculties. If you see, mind can be it is part of Indriya also, it is Buddhi also, it is Ahankara also, everything is in the mind, depending on the hierarchy. So Dhruti is also one aspect of Buddhi actually. It's a I should say, an allied aspect of Buddhi. So Dhruti is that part of the mind which paints the idea, but it maintains in a steady state, it maintains in our mind and makes a steady progress towards it. When the obstacles come, it mobilizes the secret powers within us to face them with courage. So, Dhruti is the energy, mental energy, which will not give up. It will make an idea. We have desired something good. Okay, good or bad, it doesn't matter, but it paints that idea and it maintains it's constantly, it will start nourishing it until we achieve. And if any obstacles come on the way, it will ensure that we come out with our inherent skills. And as we know, every human being has got extraordinary, infinite potential. We wouldn't have realized. But if we start cultivating this dhriti, buddhi, awareness internally and use it in the right way for the right, the right direction, then it can be of great help. This is the dhriti. Dhriti is, they call it in other words as willpower. That means the free will that we have, but we are not letting it free. We are controlling it. But when we start conditioning or disciplining this mind, in this way, then the dhriti gets developed. This is I have taken from Swami Chinmayananda's blog. One of the things. I will give the website address later. So they say this Narasimhan, Mr. Narasimhan, he has made a blog and he has quoted. So it is the one which decides the vision, mission, action plan, and resources. Any institution, any organization, or any activity an individual wants to do, or in his life, he should have a vision, he should have a mission, and he should have an action plan, and he should see what are the resources. Based on that, he will do. So each one of us must become so serious about what we want to do in future. Is the way any institution develops, we should develop ourselves, because we ourselves are an institution. But unfortunately, most of the times we are so much casual that we don't know where we are heading. What do we want to do? What is my vision in life? And how do I achieve it? And what are the resources? Do I have the finances? Do I have the manpower? Do I have support from the team? Let's say simple thing like, my vision in life would be 10 years down the line. Maybe a simple example. I should own something, or I should become I should grow to this. I should make some 20 papers I should publish. These are regular our, goals in life. Vision should be, to become a good researcher, or vision could also be, I should get to over, I should be very efficient in handling my emotions. I should control my anger. I should not be reactive. That itself can be our vision for ourselves. 10 years down the line, I should not be perturbed for any type of, disturbances. So like that we should have. So that if we are firm, this dhriti is that aspect of the mind that works. And he says, if you combine that dhriti with buddhi, he says, buddhya dhriti grahitaya. Shanaihi uparame. Slowly, you should control everything with buddhi. That takes dhriti along with this. That takes the willpower. Buddhi is a discriminative. As I said, When the jalebis come, the buddhi says, no, that is your diabetes is not going to be, your diabetes is going to be worsened. You just had your HbA1c high, don't eat. That is buddhi. And if you listen to that buddhi, and if you keep maintaining your vision that I should be totally sugar, my sugar's diabetes has to be reversed, that can be my good vision and mission. So that has to be practiced, but slowly. Slowly you can do. Take one. Have you heard of, I don't know the author, have you heard of the book called Atomic Habits? Anybody? Atomic Habits. Have you heard about this book? Suvarchala, Padmini, Shubha? No?
No, ma'am.
Oh, it's a wonderful book. My daughter has gifted me. Of course, I have to see many of the Western authors. No, they very beautifully they write implementable, action plans. Very beautifully they have written. So, Atomic Habits says take one habit, your weakness, which you have to overcome. Don't have too many things in your list. You make a list where all you want to improve, and in that you pick up one by one and work only on one or two at a time. I'm doing that and it works very well. First, I thought I'll do yoga in the morning, walking in the evening. No, I said, first, let me get control on walking every day, 45 minutes. And okay, without any break, even on Saturdays, Sundays, if I don't, it must become so much your habit that if you don't do it, you should feel uncomfortable. So he says, Shanaihi, Shanaihi. This is how we train our mind, isn't it? See, I had told you the story of Swami Sarvapriyananda himself. Very beautifully, he tells about an elephant and a mahout, the person who tames the elephant. So elephant is such a big animal. It's such a huge animal. In fact, if he just tames the mahout, no, he can die, but he doesn't know his power. And mahout has made him like that. Similarly, every day he keeps training him. Every day, if he doesn't train, no, the elephant will not be mellowed. So unless we keep our mind under control and we keep practicing, it will not be under our control. So we must apply these principles of this dhyana yoga in any manner which helps us at this stage, right? We need not become yogis overnight. Shanaihi. Krishna knows our ability. We are all people with, not completely evolved. We have our own limitation. He knows that. That's why he says, Shanaihi. Slowly. Withdraw and take the buddhi with the dhruti and atma samstham manaha. Keep that buddhi dhruti in the atman, in the higher self, or any higher thinking. To before reaching the atman, anything which is excellent, anything which is selfless, anything which is helping. So fix your mind there. Do not allow it to come down. Then anna kinchit api chintayet. Keep your mind, your efforts only in this direction without thinking of any. Chinta is actually thinking also and worrying also. Do not worry at all. Just keep doing this. Just keep doing. Put your efforts. Isn't it so beautiful? Where is the scope for anxiety, low moods, depression? Nothing. If your mind is engaged in these kind of thoughts, then your mind will never go down. Then he says, Yato nishcharati manaschanchalamasthiram tatastato niyam yaitat atman yeva vasham nayet. Yato nishcharati means whenever the mind wanders restlessly, close your mind for 30 seconds. All of us will do this exercise and see, is the mind stable? Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Just close your eyes and be quiet. Yes. Did you find your mind was wandering here and there? Suvarchala?
Initially, it was there, ma'am. Afterwards, it is like calm.
Calm. Okay, what about you, Padmini?
Yes, ma'am. Same. Initially, it was very
Yeah,
disturbed. Later we can.
yeah.
Yes,
Then
ma'am.
you, because you, Shubha, what about you? Shubha, if you're
Wonders a
busy,
lot, ma'am.
huh? Wonders a lot, yeah. They have started doing meditation, no? That's why probably it will come. Yeah, same. Once you start meditating, no? Then it will, 5 minutes we will do today. Let us see if we have time. So it wanders. So yato nischarati. Whenever, now what exactly what Suvachala Padmini did, whenever the mind wanders restlessly, then and there one must discipline it and bring it under ततस्ततो नियम्येतत् आत्मन्येव वशं नयेत्. It should be brought under control. Atmanyeva vasham. It should be brought. So, and under Atman alone. It should be, Atman means self also and on the self, both. So, whenever it wanders, keep bringing it because Krishna knows. One is we cannot achieve, so he says, go slowly. Now he says, mind will grow. Mind will wander. It is restless. It is a property of the mind is restlessness only. That is how he has created it. But whenever it goes, then he has given buddhi, he has given dhruti, control it, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. And that conditioning we do when we meditate every day, you would have done that. And therefore, Suvarchala and Padmini are able to bring. Shubha, I think we also will, you can also start meditating for 5 minutes, wherever, whether at home or outside. So train the mind regularly for this. No? Again and again, if we do, and we become aware, then it is possible. Prashantamanasam yenam yoginam sukhamuttamam upaiti shantarajasam brahmabhutama kalmasham. So nicely he says, one who controls his mind like this, keeps practicing, who has a calm mind, such a yogi will experience sukham uttamam. What are we all struggling for every day? We want to be happy, isn't it? The whole mankind is struggling to be in a state of happiness. Unfortunately, or the nature is designed in such a way that any happiness is very short lived. And that is not the true happiness because it goes away. True happiness is that which remains. Now, that real constant happiness can be obtained only when you calm down the mind. That experience, Sukham Uttamam, we have not experienced that. Now we are getting glimpses during meditation. If you practice that meditation for longer time, whenever you get time, just sit quietly, close your eyes, don't hear anything, go to a quiet place, sit on a chair, shut yourself in a room, and experience. More and more you start experiencing that sukha is Uttama Sukha this. Uttama Sukha than what you get when you go out, have masala dosa or a roti curry or whatever, have some drinks. No, all those are short lived and it may boomerang, they may backfire contrary to this sukha. Prashanta manasam yena yoginam sukham uttamam. So one who has calm mind, such a yogi experiences supreme bliss. Not only that, Shanta Rajasam, Upaiti Shanta Rajasam. All those things which is happening, I must do that, I must do that, including small things. Even on batte matchilla, I should keep it in a proper place. I have not put it for drying. We have so many things to work. I should have worked out on this set lesson plan like this. Always the mind, because we are all working. Those are all Rajasika Guna. So when we make our mind calm with meditation, constant, consistent, regularly, control our mind, no distractions, it's okay. If I have not done, it's okay. So when we do that, when we do with meditation, not only we experience a sukham uttamam, highest bliss, okay, also passion becomes quietened. Passion for work, that becomes quietened, and Brahma Bhutam, we become, as the same thing advances, we start experiencing the Brahman and akalmasham, freed from all impurities. We would have accumulated impurities because of our ego, right? We are not always aware. Even our thoughts, we wouldn't have spoken something bad, but in our thoughts we would have reacted. Thoughts would have thought something bad about somebody without our knowledge. Or mind will start telling, no, 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 you are right in thinking like this, but something will happen. All those may lead to impurities. But when you do this meditation regularly, constantly, bring the mind under control, then you are freed from impurities. You will experience a supreme bliss, and that Rajasam. Shubha, if you are there and if you are free, I would like to. They are all our own people. Shubha is a very perfectionist. I have observed her, and she herself tells that, most of us who are perfection. I am not a perfect. I am not very good at work also like that. That way, they're all extremely. They want perfect work, and many are there. It was kind of obsession, if I'm not wrong. Yes or no? Kind
Yes,
of
ma'am. It's
obsession.
OCD, not perfection, ma'am. OCD.
I didn't want to say that. You yourself.
It's okay,
told
ma'am. I
that.
accept it, ma'am.
OCD is Rajasa. Okay, because obsession. You want it to be perfect. You want. If everything is in your hand, you can do. But sometimes it depends on so many people's inputs, isn't it? And everybody cannot be number one. Number two, for us also, if it is imperfect, mind starts becoming, turbulent. So that can be controlled by meditation. In other words, Shanta Rajasam means Rajasam, Shanta Rajasam. Rajasika is, I want, obviously, we want everything to be good because we are hardworking, we are committed. But that should not get into your DNA so much that it will start disturbing you. It should not become so much of conditioning. So when you do meditation, no, you will calm down and you will feel, you want to do it perfectly, but as much as possible I will do, as much as possible I will get it done by others. But if it is not done, theek hai. What I want is this bliss and rather than the outside perfection. Because the whole world, if you see, it is chaotic only. There is no perfection. Yes or no? Few things are there, which is undisturbed, like nature, sun. He comes at the same time, he sets at the same time. Is there any imperfection? Never ever. And that is not human. That is a nature. But otherwise, any human activity you see around Prakriti here, nature also, other things, which is combination, that is imperfect only. So though we try to correct them, and that becomes our Rajasic vritti. It is not tamasic. We are active, we want to correct them, but we are unable to correct. But we are obsessed with the thought of perfection, which is good, but we should not be obsessed. Having a goal towards perfection is very good. You should have. You should not live and you should not say it's okay. Everybody is like that. Why should I break my head? That is the wrong attitude. You should work towards perfection, but never be obsessed. Okay. So Rajasam, Shanta Rajasam. When you meditate, you will know limitation of the system. Yet you will work towards it. So you will have that balance. Next one he says, Yunjannevam sadatmanam yogi vigata kalmashaha sukhena brahmasvam sparsham atyantam sukhamashnute. Having got rid. So in this previous shloka we said, Shantarajasam brahmabhutam, then akalmasham. All to see, look at this. When you start meditating, when you make meditation means making the mind calm. When you train your mind to listen to you, and you have grown, your buddhi has grown, and it is always craving to be with the self, that means in a closed environment with limited distractions. So when you become pure, then what happens is Sukhena Brahmaspar, having got rid of these impurities now, the yogi's mind is always engaged in yoga, attains the Brahman and enjoys Atyantam Sukham Ashnute, enjoys a permanent, immense happiness. That is what we want. All of us are interested to become happy. This is the only way to de-stress ourselves. And this is the true happiness which we need to progress. And very beautifully, what are the prerequisites to reach this stage? Control the distractions, try to be within, find happiness within, explore, go within, dig out that well which is within, and do not get depressed. Yes, what he has used, kinchitapi no chintayet, no kinchitapi chintayet, and he says Nirvinna Chetasa, Yogo Nirvinna Chetasa. So depression, undisturbed. Yogo Nirvinna is undisturbed by the mind and controlling all the senses. When you do this, no, this is the way we can get over, all the sorrows in the life, and we can de-stress ourselves. So with that, I wind up for today. We can just meditate for 5 minutes and then we take questions or discuss whatever. So just maybe 3 minutes should do. Sit straight. If you can sit in squatting position, put your thighs like this, sit on the floor or on the cot, or just sit on the chair as you are sitting now. Take deep breath. We will do pranayam, simple pranayam. As you breathe in, you suggest that we are taking all the tejas and ojas from the atmosphere. With every breath, I am becoming more and more energized. As I breathe out, I give out all my weaknesses. Continue to breathe deep inhalation, deep exhalation. Relax. With every breath, I am becoming calmer, more energized, blissful. Deep inhalation, deep exhalation. Now, let us pray that all the beings to my east, west, north, south, above, and below me live in peace and happiness. May all the beings around me live in peace and happiness. Continue to breathe, relax. Now, there is a spiritual heart within you. Imagine that it is full of bliss, full of happiness, infinite potential. That is my Jivatman, full of light, full of energy. Deep inhalation, deep exhalation. Concentrate on that Atman in your spiritual heart. It's glowing, self-illumined. Oh, oh. Om. 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 Slowly come out of that spiritual heart. Open your eyes. So I'm sure each one of you have your own method of meditation, but this is in brief what I have been taught by Ramakrishna Ashram. So of course we concentrate on Ishtadevata, whoever it is, but I have put it as an Atman. You can modify or whatever. Basically deep breathing, self auto suggestions, praying for the world peace, and focus on your Ishtadevata and chant. These are simple 5 steps. Sure, it would have relaxed a little bit. Shubha, did you feel? But of course, when you have work and when you have responsibilities, it's very difficult to concentrate. So what you could do is early morning before anybody gets up, we should reserve 10 minutes for ourselves. And as we discussed, before anybody gets up, because once people get up, then we have response. We cannot say I'm meditating and I will not be preparing tea or coffee or cooking. No, you cannot. That's our priority. So with that, we wind up. Any queries or any additions or any clarifications from any of you? Anybody has? No? Padmini, Swarchala?
Yeah, ma'am. This Dhruti, I am not getting, ma'am. In my book, no, Dhruti, they have given the meaning as with the use of dhairya.
That's what. Dhairya. They will use willpower. Different things are used. Dhairya is courage. Okay. That is one aspect of Dhriti. Dhriti is much more than courage. Dhairya, which is persistent, which makes you do. It is the force. Dhriti means the force that comes with courage, I agree, but it will have that perseverance and it will see that you do it. Understood? So it's little courage, yes, true, but it's beyond courage. It's much more than courage.